Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here and welcome back to another YouTube video on the channel. And today guys, we are going to be continuing our AFL 2022 3-game match reviews. Now here we are for the middle 3 games of round 16 of the 2022 AFL season. And I'll tell you, some very big games were here in store. We learnt again a lot more about teams as we always do in these 3-game match reviews. So the games that we're going to be reviewing are the Saturday afternoon / Saturday nighters, Adelaide vs Melbourne, Gold Coast vs Collingwood, and Geelong vs North Melbourne. So not going to waste any time, we'll go ahead and get right into things, starting off with Adelaide vs Melbourne, Saturday twilight footy at the Adelaide Oval. So the Adelaide Crows haven't played at this ground since since round 12, where they beat the Eagles by 31 points, and They fought hard at Adelaide, but were just so sloppy when using the ball, which did cost them the game. And it's a bit of an Adelaide trend to overuse the ball, but they are on the right track, though, of a rebuild, and they really did compete with one of the best teams in the competition called Melbourne. Adelaide 10-5-65, do lose to Melbourne 14-10-94. The scoreboard does make it feel a little bit worse than what it traditionally was, and Adelaide, they were in the game for most of it, but then just failed to do everything right at the last moments to lose the game. Melbourne kicked the first 3 goals of the game, then Adelaide responded heavily with 4 goals next, which really does show a good team that they are. The second quarter, the Crows kicked 2 goals, Melbourne got 1 back. It was a really boring second quarter, really tight, scrappy contest. That's what it was for the whole entire game, though. Then in the third quarter, the Demons started to get going. The Adelaide Crows only got the 1 goal. The Demons got the 3. They wanted to make this game over. The Crows, through Rory Lee, kicked a ripping opening goal in the first 20 seconds in the final quarter. And then they kicked another, and they were back within 5 points. And it was like, oh yes, upset brewing perhaps. And no, Melbourne, they go back. They just kicked a few more. And it's their midfield that really does it. Petrarca, Oliver, Viney, and then Langdon. Langdon just owns that wing. He's one of the best players in the competition, is Ed Langdon as well, especially one of the best wingers in the competition. How good is he? Like, when the ball gets in his hands, you can't outrun him. So, yeah. But Clayton Oliver, 36 disposals. Christian Petrarca getting back on the accurate list with the 3 goals and the 141 fantasy. Clayton Oliver was immense with the pressure with the 13 tackles. So, to AFL Fantasy we go. 141 for Petrarca, 136 for Laird, 136 for Oliver, 129 for O'Brien and Dawson, 123 for Keys, 106 for Langdon, 104 for Salem, 93 for Berry. Now to goals and behinds we go. 3 goals for Petrarca, and that's not the man that you'd think would be kicking the most goals, but he just burst out the middle. 2 goals for Brown, Walker and Keys, as well as Brown. The other Brown, Mitch Brown, he actually didn't have a bad day. Oliver, 36 disposals, 33 for Petrarca. Langdon, 32 for Laird, 30 for Keys, 30 for Dawson. You knew when the ball was going to get in Langdon's hands, though. He was just going to go for a run, and he got a goal as well, did Langdon. Then 26 for Jack Viney as well. He's another part of Melbourne's massive midfield, which has loomed large over Adelaide. May, 11 marks, 10 for Dawson, 9 for Brayshaw, 7 for Lever and Salem. You know they're going to do it week in, week out, Melbourne. You've got the whole defence line is as strong as a brick wall. You can't get past it. May, Lever, Brayshaw, Salem, all of them do it in the defence line. Gorn, Jackson can go back to help out back. Obviously, they weren't in this game, though, so Melbourne were very good. 13 tackles for Berry and Oliver, 9 for Laird, 7 for Smith. Hit-outs we go where, well, I mean, it was O'Brien's day. 48 hit-outs for Riley O'Brien, 11 for Wiedemann, 8 for Thilthorpe, 2 for Mitch Brown, and 1 for Taylor Walker. Now the team stats we go where it was relatively even with the disposal count and inside 50s as well. The Demons just went inside 6 more times than the Crows, but were more efficient going inside. The Adelaide Crows had 23 free kicks to 9. They smashed them in the hit-outs, but again, Melbourne, though, you know they're such a strong clearance side against Adelaide's young, developing midfield. The Demons took more marks inside 50. They were just, they do a lot of intercepts as well, the Melbourne. It's their whole back line. They just, really good. Melbourne led for the majority of the game, and their biggest margin was the winning margin. So Adelaide, they hung with them, but again, the Melbourne Demons just too strong at the Adelaide Oval. So now to the first of two Saturday nighters, we go to Metricon Stadium, where the Gold Coast Suns 8-14-62 lose to the Pies 9-13-67 in another scrappy affair at Metricon Stadium for the Saturday nighter. And it was a ripping game of footy. The margin was never... This game didn't disappoint. The margin was never anything too extraordinary. Although the Suns, they were really quick to start, kicking the first 3 goals of the game. And it looked like they had it in their momentum. The Pies responded, though, with the next 3 goals as well to bring it back to around even level. And it was even going into quarter time, with both teams being inaccurate as well. Collingwood did have the better of the second quarter, kicking 3 goals to 2. And then in the third quarter, Collingwood left goalless. The Suns kicked 1 goal. Really scrappy third quarter. And we were watching teams that were, well, around the same level as each other, going head to head. It was a very interesting contest for sure. And now, in the final quarter, it was interesting because the Suns got out to the first lead and it was like, they'll win this game. Metricon Stadium, they're good up there, they'll win. And then the Pies, 1, 2, 3 in like 5 minutes. And then they do enough to hold on and seal the deal. The Suns had a chance later on but missed. And Collingwood win, a absolute ripper. And that will just about be Gold Coast season just about over. Nick Dacos, 37 disposals. 4 goals for Isaac Rankin. I'll tell you, this man... You can't stop him. No matter who goes to him, no matter if you were to triple team him, no matter if you were to put your whole team on him, he would still be able to find a way through. I bet Isaac Rankin, he's an amazing player. He's got the tricks, and man, any club would love to have him at their club. Took Miller 132 fantasy and 10 tackles. You know he does it every single week. So now to the player stats we go. AFL fantasy. If it wants to let me tap it, which it didn't want to. Alright, AFL Fantasy, 132 for Tuke Miller, 117 for Nick Dacos. The Dacos brothers were actually pretty good. Noah Anderson, 116 Fantasy, 91 for Sidebottom, 90 for Rankin. And as I said, an amazing player is Isaac Rankin with the 4 goals, 3 goals for Ginnivan. You know, he was also very classy on the goal front. And Josh Dacos gets in there with the 3 goals as well. And everybody else just a 1 goal. And it's really nice that Collingwood actually managed to, well, stop Casbolt and Troll. Now, I'm not sure how to say his name. Oe? I think it might be Oe or Oea. I'm not entirely sure how to say it, but the Papua New Guinea person for Gold Coast, they managed to get their first goal, and an absolute ripper it was. Nick Dacos, 37 disposals, the highest of anybody on the ground. I reckon he is the favourite for Rising Star right now. I just feel like it's just him and then the rest are just a little bit below him. 31 disposals for Tuke Miller, 30 for Noah Anderson, 27 for Sidebottom, 24 for David Swallow, 23 for Rao, Noble 23, Taylor Adams 20. Now to the marks we go. 9 for Charlie Ballard, 8 for Mychek, 7 for Ellis, Moore and Elliott. Tackles we go. 10 for Miller, 7 for Holman, 5 for Markov, Rao, Sidebottom, Pendlebury, McCreary, Maynard, Elliott, Crisp, and Isaac Rank was effective with the 3. 30 hit-outs for Witts, 21 for Cox, 18 for Cameron, 2 for Graham, 1 for Casbolt. And now to team stats we go, where the Suns did go inside 50 more times than Collingwood, 54-46. But the Pies had more of the ball than Gold Coast. Now, is there anything else looking interesting? The Suns did win the clearances. They were way better in the centre clearances, 13-4. Is there anything else interesting? The Pies took more marks than the Gold Coast Suns. It was a relatively even contest, but the Pies did lead 4 more than the Gold Coast Suns. This is a massive game for Collingwood as well. They have now... They've now pretty much locked themselves into the 8 for a few rounds. Got North Melbourne to come, Adelaide as well, Essendon in there as well. Those are easy games for Collingwood. So they could be, well, chasing maybe. I know this sounds unlikely, but can they make the top 4? They can give it a red-hot crack, and Collingwood have been playing with a lot of confidence this year. They've been playing well. I reckon they'll have a top 8 finish and possibly even a home elimination final. And now to GMHBA Stadium, where we go for Geelong versus North Melbourne. And if you're a North Melbourne fan thinking that you were going to win this, you were wrong. Geelong absolutely smashed them in the biggest win of the year. Geelong 21-18, 144 defeat North Melbourne 5-2-32. You knew it was coming, and here it is. The Cats looked super fresh, super good, and, well, they go into the second spot. This is a massive percentage booster. North Melbourne have officially made themselves the worst team in the competition. They just couldn't do anything. Although I will tell you, North Melbourne were alright in the first quarter. The Cats got off to the good start, but North Melbourne managed to restrict it. The Cats were actually inaccurate, so they could have made this a big smashing by more than 100. They could have pushed this out to, 130, 140, had they been more accurate. The second quarter, the Cats just went bang, 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 bang. And then the third quarter, they just kicked goals. North Melbourne only got the one goal in the second and the third quarter, and then goalless in the final quarter. It was just a Geelong masterclass, and everyone from Geelong was turned on. Tomahawk was really good. Jeremy Cameron was also influential. 35 disposals for Luke Davies-Uniacke. 6 goals for Tom Hawkins. 146 fantasy for Jeremy Cameron. 11 tackles for Tom Atkins. But I'll tell you, Ben Mackay going forward, he should have been back in this one, and he wasn't. Jeremy Cameron, 146 fantasy, as I said. 127 for Davies-Uniacke. 121 for Guthrie. 118 for Duncan. 117 for Hawkins. 101 for Simpkin. 100 for Atkins. 99 for Stanley. Blitzars. 97 for Tui and Stevenson. Now to goals behind we go, where it's 6 goals for Tom Hawkins, 4 goals for Jeremy Cameron, 2 for Narkle, Stengel, Close, and then 1 goal for Guthrie, and a goal the other Guthrie. Dangerfield kicked one within the first 19 seconds, and then Blitzarves as well, and then North Melbourne's only goal scorers for the game were Zerha, Curtis, Larkey, Tristan Zeri, and Jack Marnie. Now to disposals we go. 35 for Davies-Uniacke too. This doesn't happen very often though. Jeremy Cameron getting in the act with 30 plus. You don't see that every day. A key forward getting 30 plus. But there you have it. Jeremy Cameron was probably one of the standouts, possibly the best on ground. And then 30 for Duncan as well. 29 for Guthrie. 27 for Tui and Simpkin. 26 for Isaac Smith. 25 for Blitzarves and Stevenson. Now to the marks we go. 14 for Duncan. 11 for Core. 10 for Cameron and Hawkins, and 8 for Stevenson. Tackles now, 11 for Atkins, 8 for Greenwood, 7 for Guthrie and Simpkin, 6 for Close and Davies-Uniacke. Here as we go now, Stanley 25, 23 for Tristan Zeri, 15 for Goldie, 4 for Blitzarves, 2 for Tomahawk, and now team stats. It was a Geelong obliteration. They went inside 50, 74-25 North Melbourne Times. It wasn't great for North Melbourne. They are the worst team in the competition by a fair way. They got 7 shots on goal, did North Melbourne. That just goes to show how poor they are. But again, though, on the flip side, how much of a quality opponent are the Cats? They are one of the best teams in the competition as well. And at GMHBA, they are even better. Hideas was North Melbourne, but again, clearances was all just Geelong. And then the Cats only made 51 turnovers. So they were good with the footy. 25 to 5 marks inside 50. That is an insane amount, and the Cats won everything in the marks as well. The Cats led for from all of the game, sorry. But yeah, what a game. What a game of footy by the Geelong Cats. They win by 112. They state that they are the best team aside from Melbourne, and North Melbourne are the worst team in the competition after putting up a disappointing performance like that. So what is left to come? Well, Richmond take on West Coast in the first game on the Sunday. GWS take on Hawthorn at Giants Stadium. And then the Dockers go head-to-head with the Power. And, the Suns, they'll be barracking for the Dockers in this one as they need the Power to lose to try and, keep their finals hopes alive. Otherwise, they are down the drain. And now after that Gold Coast loss, we'll go to the ladder. And after that Gold Coast loss, things are really getting hard for them. 28 points they sit on 15 games gone. If Port Adelaide lose, you think it'll probably be season over for them. The Doggies, though, they are still within eye-catching reach. They're still just out of grasp. If Richmond win today, they go clear, push St Kilda out of the 8. Collingwood go equal on points with Carlton, and if Fremantle lose, equal on points with Freo, which means a possible top 4 finish. Collingwood, you'll be thinking, will be getting 3 wins. That takes them to 52 points, and you don't miss out on the 8 when you're at 52 points. So I feel like if Collingwood win the next 4 games, they'll be locked away in the top top 8. So some really big things going on. Sydney, they're not a certain in just yet either, 36 points as well. And if Richmond win today, well then they'll go up into 7th. So some really important games coming up. So the top of the ladder looking interesting. Now that we've got to the bottom end of the ladder, the winner of today's game between the Giants and the Hawks will jump skip the Adelaide Crows, putting their season in a respectable place into 13th position. And if it's a draw, well then Adelaide hold on to their 13th place. But yes, it is a big game. And if it's the Hawks that win, they may not overtake the Crows, although percentage would suggest so. But it's a Giants stadium, so I feel like the Giants will win. But anyway, what a round we've had so far. Brisbane won 108-67 over the Doggies. The Saints won 93-78 over the Blues. The Bombers won 95-86 over the Swans. The Demons won 94-65 over the Crows. The Suns lost 62-67 to the Pies, and the Cats won 144-32 against the Roos. Round 17 shapes is a really interesting one. Geelong vs Melbourne opens us up. Should be an absolute ripper. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss another video on the channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Bye everyone. Flaming Footy out.